Hello, today we will be reviewing with you the Epson XP 2100. This MFP printer copier scanner from the company Epson has onboard Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi Direct and such an aesthetic simple appearance control panel. That is, everything is very minimalistic. Also here we have a chip-free firmware, that is, a continuous ink supply system is installed here and there are chip-free cartridges. The continuous ink supply system is installed very easily and simply, such a so-called fishing rod here it goes there just inside to the cartridges. The containers are like this. They are specially made to protect against refueling, but everything is refueled easily and simply with a needle dressed. How do we remove the cartridges from the carriage? The printer just doesn't give them away, so we turn on our device and only a little bit it moved, the cartridges were moved to the side, we pull the plug out of the socket. The right one, because I have a whole bunch of them here. That's it, now that's it, you can go back and forth. So, we see here the cartridges that are already familiar to our eyes. What are the nuances? If we have gaps in our ink plume, we need to fill it in. How is this done? This is how our ink tanks look like. You can monitor the ink level. Be sure to top up the ink in time, without letting the bottles empty completely. That's how they open. Here we have filling holes that come with a protective, so to speak, key. Well, it's easy and simple to get around it. We just take a syringe with a needle, insert it into the hole, into the half of the hole and fill in the ink. That is, it is not necessary to buy necessarily super-duper special ink. That is, we easily bypass this protection with you, in order to fill the continuous ink supply system directly with ink. We have tanks, we have a loop, we have cartridges. Everything should be filled with ink. There must be ink in the containers, the ink must be completely in the ink train and the cards must be completely filled. Our maps are translucent, so we can hardly see the ink level. Using the example of the blue color, I will show how to completely fill the continuous ink supply system with ink. We pull the cork out of our ink cartridge, in this case blue. We removed it and begin to slowly press on the piston. And we look so that in our container, in the ink cartridge, right here on top, as soon as the ink appears, we quickly close the cork back and stop pressing on the piston. Everything in our system is completely filled with ink. I will make a remark. I will say that we do all these manipulations only if we really have air, and if it is still filled with ink, it seems to be visually, but it prints poorly. Otherwise, of course, we don't touch anything if everything works. Containers with NPCH should naturally be on the same level, stand on the same level with the printer, they cannot be raised or lowered higher or lower. There was also a breakdown in this printer, the printer wrote that there was an overload of something there. It was because the carriage was traveling with very strong difficulty. I had to lubricate it right here. We have lubricated this guide here. It is lubricated with some kind of thick lubricant. It is lubricated, and a carriage was brought back and forth in order to distribute the lubricant evenly, and everything starts working well with us. If our pages are printed crookedly, we want it to be smooth. This encoder tape is carefully, calmly wiped with non-aggressive, non-abrasive substances. So, the printer told us that he did not like it, so that a problem was detected. Read more. What is the problem? Did not finish the work properly, checking the dais before printing. To continue, click the Start button on the printer. Click the Start button. It's also interesting, it's not signed, but the green button is usually the Start button, that is, please, ready to print. That's it. That is, the printer is trying to communicate with us in a normal human language. Therefore, we look at the Epson status monitor and do what he wants us to do. Checking the dais. This is printed special stripes. Now we will print them diagnostically, which, if there is nothing to print, can be printed out once or twice or 3 days. And first of all, to make sure that we do not have passes and take action. And we have one action, cleaning the print head. What is this cleaning done in? It is mandatory if there is ink in the tanks of the continuous ink supply system. That is, in principle, everything is fine and wonderful with us. We don't need to do any manipulations. If necessary, we do cleaning. Again, before cleaning, be sure to make sure that it was. So that the ink in his bones is filled in. Otherwise, the air will tighten the print head, it will only get worse. Software update. In no case do we do this, otherwise the printer will be blocked and you will have to pay for unlocking it, since there are no free unlocking options. That is, all the updates that the printer offers you to do, we naturally refuse them. All the rest, in principle, we do not need pieces. The betrayal of the ink card is not necessary, because here we have a chipless firmware, the printer is stitched. The edge of the printhead also does not work in my opinion. You can argue with me in the comments if you disagree, because everything is solved by cleaning the encoder tape, which I have already shown. In principle, I do not use all other functions. Tell me some useful functions that I have not voiced, because I think everything else is completely useless. If the printer prints and tells us that something is interfering with the passage of paper, we look here. Here we have such special rollers that facilitate the drawing of paper inside the printer out. That is, we can carefully lift them up like this. It is advisable not to scratch the surface of this roller, because it has a special coating applied there. And look inside there. Surely something unexpected is waiting for us there, something that should not be in the printer. We are constantly extracting all sorts of different interesting things, surprises. That's for sure you have something there with such a problem. Therefore, look in, search and extract. Also, a container for draining ink was installed in this device, that is, an absorber or a so-called diaper was removed, here it is installed, passed through the hole where there was a screw, a container, a hose or a tube, and there it is connected to the drain. Draining ink through an L-shaped nozzle, which is used in continuous ink supply systems for connection to cartridges. And weaning this container, where the ink merges, naturally needs to be emptied from time to time from the ink that has merged there. That is, this is the kind of revision that has been done. You can easily repeat it yourself, too. That is, regular printing, regular refilling of ink and all of the above points will help you save the consumption of nerve cells when communicating with this device. If I forgot something, did not mention it, and if you have any additional questions, ask. See you soon. Bye bye.